Before I begin, I wanted to let you guys know that all of the materials used in this drawing will be listed in the description box below if you're interested. Today I wanted to talk about what it means to find your passion or whatever your true calling is as an artist or as an entrepreneur or as a professional individual. If you're in school right now or you've recently graduated, you'll find very quickly that there tends to be a lot of pressure to find like your thing. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like, what do you want your thing to be that you're known for? And especially if you're a self-employed creative entrepreneur, that's a very common thing that seems to be something that everyone wants to know. They have the itch to be working for themselves, but they don't know what their thing is or what their thing is that they're going to do. How do you find your thing that's unique to you and ends up being what you're known for and what you become successful and what becomes your business? If you were to ask me, I would have to say I have no idea, and I also don't think that it's fair to be expected to know what exactly you want your thing to be. There are people out there who are old enough to retire. They don't know what they want to be when they grow up. That's one thing I've realized as I've entered adulthood, and that's that adults don't know what the heck they're doing. I still feel like I'm 10 years old, to be honest. Like, on the inside, I feel like I'm in middle school. People ask me what I do for a living, and they often get very confused because when you're a self-employed creative person, you often have to have multiple sources of income that all add up to end up being your total income so that you can live. I do freelance work, I have an Etsy shop, I sell clip art, but I usually just tell people that I freelance because it's easier to say that, and honestly, I'm still searching for whatever my calling is. And for me, it's like a constant thought in the back of my mind, like, what do I want to be known for? If someone were to ask, if I were to die, what would I want people to be like? Oh, Jessie Miller, she was such a good blank. She was so inspiring the way that she blank. What I realized that, similar to trying to find your drawing style, finding your true calling or your passion or whatever it is, it comes organically, whether you even realize it's happening as you're doing other things. I didn't know that I wanted to sell clip art. I started working with a local illustrator to illustrate a children's book, and he just happened to be a teacher who told me about a site where teachers like to buy clip art, and they use them in like their classrooms and stuff. And he was like, oh, you'd be so good at this, you should look into this. So I looked into it. And then as it turns out, you can also list clip art on Etsy, so I already had an Etsy shop. I just moved it over there too, so now I sell clip art from 2 different sites. I never thought in a million years that I'd make a YouTube channel, but I saw these YouTubers, and they were using Copic markers and doing all sorts of cool stuff. And I thought it looked like fun, so I was like, I'm just gonna buy a few Copics and try it out. This YouTube channel was just to be a source to connect with fellow artists and to hopefully inspire people to draw and maybe to teach people how to draw some things. But I realized after a while that it actually connects and interlocks with everything else that I've already been doing. So for example, I can draw an image specifically for YouTube to color in a video, but then I can also list that image in a clip art listing to sell. Or I can give it away as a free resource to teachers, or I could color it and list it on Etsy as an illustrated wall art. I don't really sell my Etsy items at things like craft shows because I tried it before and like my prints are already all like made to order and they're inexpensive, so breaking even's very difficult there. I'd have to sell like a ton of prints. However, now that I'm doing these Copic illustrations, I actually could try to do craft shows again and see if some of these colored illustrations would sell, because I just made them for fun anyway, so there's no risk. I don't have to like make a whole bunch and then try to sell them. I can just have one and see if if it would sell. Then a friend saw my cable illustration that I did and asked if I would do a commission for her because she's going to meet Chris Hemsworth next month at I think it's the Philly Comic-Con. So she asked if I would draw Thor for her. And that was something I didn't even think about. I was like, I didn't even think about commission stuff. And that's an entirely different income source that I could look into. And all of this just resulted from me wanting to buy some Copics and just try them out. The point that I'm getting at, and that I hope you'll take away from all of this ramble, is actually two things. If you're searching for your earth-shattering, unique, standout calling, don't stress too much because it'll find its way to you. But you know how you're not going to find it? You won't find it by sitting around and wondering what it is. Go outside, go try different things, play around with new techniques or mediums, get in touch with people that inspire you, listen to podcasts or watch YouTube videos about your interests, and just have fun with whatever it is that you're doing. Just find things that you like to do and just do them and just try new things. You might be surprised to look back after a while and see what comes from it. 2 years ago, I was sitting at a 9-to-5 soul-sucking desk job, watching the clock tick, staring out the window and waiting for my break so I could go enjoy the nice weather that only happens for a short time in this area. I leave at the end of the day after doing nothing but staring at a screen and be completely exhausted from boredom and stress. I never thought it'd be possible to work for myself from home without first finding what my true calling was. But I'm here and the ship's still floating. I didn't have to find my true calling, as it turns out. But I did have to stop wondering what it was and just start doing something. If you feel even just a little more at ease after listening to this, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. And subscribe if you want to see more. And let me know if you made it this far. I know this was kind of a long ramble, but it was kind of a long illustration too, to be honest. But let me know you made it this far by leaving a comment below and tell me something that you'd like to try to do. Tell me something new that you've tried recently or something you'd like to try to do in the future to get the ball rolling on whatever it is that you're moving toward. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Ooh, love birds. Music. Okay, let's go get some food.